People are talking about, today, the shooting last night, I believe it was, and it's called hate crime. It was the shooting at the Black Church in Charleston, South Carolina. Um, I am not going to say for sure, but I've written about mind control murders, and they can do it in mass now. I wrote about it back in '76 to April Fool Day of '80 when I almost was killed. I had antifreeze put in me and should have died, and my life was, well, it's been bad. You can't say it. I've tried to put it up on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and now I'm getting threats for telling the truth. I mean, really. Larry Flint was one of them that was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I lived in Marietta. And he was shot March the 6th of '78, and that was the person that shot Mr. Flint and killed his attorney was programmed to do so. So, well, the John Lennon, Mark David Chapman, was programmed to shoot him. I was working at the DA's office in Huntsville, Alabama, Fred Smith, and that's after the antifreeze had been put in me, April Fool Day of '80, and passed background check with Sheriff Patterson. And that happened. Of course, I'm English, and I could get into codes and stuff here and trying to explain how some of the murders, mind control murders, were done in patterns. But what I wanted to focus, well, no, I won't either. No, I won't go any further. I've tried to on other videos and everything. What I wanted to focus on, I was brought to this country from England, kidnapped, and this is Dempsey had twins, and she killed them. This is her family that covered it up. This is me. I think this was 43. I was brought there in 41, and they didn't have cars. This is a glossed over picture of everything. It was a horrible existence. And I didn't know about it until 1983 after I was in the campaign and flown out to Hustler magazine. I was in a campaign to replace one of the doctors I'd written about, Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman, urologist from Piedmont Hospital, Atlanta. But the British are the ones that told me, or I would never have known. Now, I want to get to this. I have had things, and I tried to put it up on as much as I could over the past, I guess, 2 years on YouTube to document it because I can't get an attorney to represent me. I've had no civil rights. I have had just about every ugly, sick crime committed against me that can be committed to any human being, only I've had them done not on one occasion or two occasions. I've had them done systematically, and no one's paid for them but me. And I'll quote again Carol Rogers Simon. She lived at Edinburgh Village Apartments here. It's a retirement village when I finally got a place to stay for a while anyway. And she told me her husband or ex-husband was a psychiatrist out of Seattle, she said, and I believe her. I don't know what she was doing there actually, but she's still there, I think. But she said to me, people hate me. If I try telling them what's been done to me, it's like I'm imposing on them, or I'm the one. You have to make someone else the blame. I'll give an example. I'm English. I was kidnapped. I really was by the Kennedy, who was ambassador sent over there by Roosevelt. The New World Order, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, they're all the same people. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and Bilderbergers. And by the way, let me inject this here. Clive Owens is telling on his program some of the things I was telling back then, but then some things he's way ahead of me on. I had no way to know those, and I still don't. But anyway, it's odd people call in and they're glad that he's telling it. And when I've been one-on-one telling it to Americans and what they're doing to me, they really hate me. I've said that before. So I guess what I'm ending this with, and I hope I live because I've gotten a lot of threats lately, and they mean it. I'm in pretty bad shape right at the moment. Hate crime, I would put mine at the top of the list. you all hated me. Here's the deal. You took Great Britain. That belonged to us. You can pass it around and say, well, I had one person. I didn't know my real name then. That was in 80 when I worked at the DA's office. He was a vet, I guess from Vietnam, and he walked up to me. I didn't know him. I didn't dislike him. I didn't know about my birth. I've been told I did know it subconsciously until 83. And he walked up to me, and I thought, what's he talking about? He said, tell you what, if we wouldn't give it back to you, we would give it back to the Indians before you ever got it back. So later I found out he's talking about Great Britain. And let me remind you, you're about to celebrate the 4th of July, and people hate Great Britain. And you did it to us, okay? The Irish have come over and they've experienced a life of luxury off of the British and me. So I guess that's what I have to say. You call a hate crime. I wrote about mind control murders for whatever reason. I was supposed to, before I knew about my name, and the crimes kept on being committed and done in patterns. And I had a letter from the FBI in 79, June the 23rd, which is my father's birthday. And the crimes continued to be committed, but they were done in patterns because mind control is hard to prove. Well, hard to prove. And the Virginia Tech shootings, Aurora, Colorado, and not one psychiatrist got up and mentioned mind control. So you can see where I'm at. I'm telling something that people do not want to hear unless, and I'm going to leave it at this, an FBI agent told me in Atlanta, he pretended to yawn. He said, you know, you bore them with what you're telling them. It's only when they learn how it affects them that they care. And I'll quote Noe, I don't know if that's his real name, up in Grottoes, Virginia, retired FBI agent. I still had the Larry Flint car. I didn't have any money. The car was parked, and I never spoke with Mr. Flint after then. I turned it in when the lease was up. But the agent come in quite often, gassed up, and he said, when they're standing there in the store, he said, they, meaning the FBI, have made it so ludicrous that people know you're telling the truth. It gives them a chance to help you or walk away. And they didn't just walk here. They have really tried. They hate my guts. They've tried to kill me. They've done everything in the book to me, denied me food, anything. It's been fun for them. Every day is a 4th of July for them.